Hi, I want to tell you about a vision I had in August of 1991, and you'll see why that I'm telling you about it. The Lord came to me in my bed, and I was sleeping. My spirit rose up and took his hand. He then started taking me to places where children were starving in Hades and other foreign countries. They were starving and nowhere to live, and no food grown in their land, and the husbands, the people, I think they idolized other things. They were coming after the family, the children and the wives, and I believe they did sacrifices and stuff too. They were in the jungles, and where animals were living, it was very dark. It rained nights, and the babies were crying. He allowed me to care for them a while, feeling their pain. It was so real, I got scared. And the Holy Spirit was so real, I got scared, and he made himself known to me and comforted me. Then he took me to a park. Well, before that, he said, "Fear not, my child, for I'm with you." And so he took me to a park where teenagers would hang out at, and they were doing every sexual and immoral act against God. They were also listening to the music that we listen to right now, and I mean that the world listened to, and they were doing every sexual and immoral sin and fornicating and all those bad things. And I saw these acts, and they were wearing the same hairdos and the clothes we are now exposed to in the near future. Now, in August of 91, I did not know that the hairdos that were going to be new and improved now. But in 91, the same stuff that they're wearing right now, that I saw in the vision, was going to be worn now. And the things that I saw, they had guns. There were 3 guys and 1 girl that was in a car hanging out, and he allowed me to see what they were doing. And it wasn't so much who they are, it was what they were doing that was near the coming of the Lord. I mean, like the Bible said, they're going to be lovers of themselves, lovers of material things, and worshiping other things. I mean, just totally, totally like in Noah's days. They were even giving and drink and, just all kind of orgies and crazy stuff. And this is what they were doing in the car. Now, I also experienced some humor in this experience when I was brought to this point. My spirit floating on around on the ground under the car, and of one of the teenagers I saw, it was a brown Impala with a girl in it, and her boyfriend and other friends. And then I realized I needed to be above the situation, so I floated up and giggled. The next place that I went was China. I was shown the West out away from the United States. Well, the people in the higher places began giving all their possessions to one man, promised to get more. Also, he brought me to a place that looked like a meeting place for all the presidents of all the countries. They were sitting at a big round table, almost what you would see at a White House or a conference held. You had Africa, China, Japan, Brazil, Russia, European, Jamaica. All these people were the big people of every nation. They were presidents of every nation. These were all multi-billionaires. All listening to this man who seemed to have called this meeting. May I remind you, when the Spirit of the Lord brought me in the place, I experienced great fear. And the Lord said, "Fear not, for I am with you." Inside this place, it looked to be black and red in colors. There was a chair that was 2 steps higher than all the others, like a chair a king was sitting in, and the Spirit of the Lord had me to come into the room and take a closer look at the plans. Fear hit me again. I mean, it was just like so much. It was like the great. I mean, the feeling of the greatest evil that you could feel. And he had me come to the table and look at the plans of this man. He wanted me to come closer to see the plans that he was handing out to all the authorities of the world. And his helpers looked like people you would call men in black, so to speak. The Holy Spirit empowered me to see in the Spirit the plans, the words, the papers, New World Order, and an abbreviation of NWO. Now, keep in mind, at that time, I didn't know what this NWO meant. That's why I said abbreviations. I was overwhelmed and wanted to know its meaning. Only the rich and wealthy attend these meetings and that make the decisions of the countries. Fate, all the richest of men attended these meetings, and the women were coming shortly behind, talking to one another about their worldly riches and all their worldly pearls and what they're going to do next, and just, what they wanted to do, and kind of flaunting everything that they have and their wealth and power. Worshiping this man in power, they would protect him, traveling with him. This man in power began traveling the east. He got them to worship him. And then our government and the president and people in higher places began to give all their possessions to him. The Holy Spirit had my hand throughout this whole vision. I was terrified in what I saw, but could not get scared because Jesus had so much glory and light and so much happiness glowing around me. I was not scared because I was being shown around with the almighty power of Jesus Christ by my side. Anyway, the man got all the world leaders to worship him to the utmost. He was rich in power, and the Lord took me to a church where they had all the political leaders. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to do a part 2.